AskReddit by having for 922. What is a feature in your vehicle that you could really do without? That safety feature where no one can access items on the touchscreen when the car is moving. Not even the passenger. My car was the same way. Thankfully enthusiasts had figured out how to crack the software and mod it using a USB stick. Some of the features I added thanks to modders. Touchscreen always enabled. Mute button now pauses media instead of muting it. Free Android Auto. Dealerships would have charged $150 to have it retrofit. Changed screen background to something custom and darker. Disabled the generic drive safely reminder that would always appear on startup. It may be worth researching if people have made a similar tool for your make and model. Passenger seat belt alarms that go off simply because I have a food to go order sitting in the passenger seat. Gasp. Unbuckled. Mine goes off if I set my phone in it. Overprotective safety systems or any setting that changes on key cycle. If I want something off, let me keep it off. Anything that won't let me change a setting unless the machine is parked. Lost my mind many times as a passenger trying to connect my phone or as the driver trying to get a passenger to connect. My Rogue has sport mode, normal mode and eco mode. It really only changes the shifting modes to prioritize fuel economy or downshifting overdrive for power acceleration. It auto sets to eco every time the vehicle is started. I drive it in eco almost always, but it's a little annoying that they don't let it maintain the last used setting. An ice is possible. Drive with care, warning that I have to clear every time it gets below 32 degrees out. I'm wearing 3 sweatshirts and 2 pairs of socks. I'm well aware already, thank you. My last car would pop up roads maybe icy any time the temperature dropped to 37°F. On marginal days, it could bounce up and down multiple times during a trip. My kids started shouting out rhyming phrases anytime it would come on, like toads may be spicy. A warning chime when the outside temperature changes from 40°F to 39 as a freeze reminder. Totally useless and irritating. VW? My Volkswagen thinks that nothing is more important than me knowing that it's 39°F outside. It'll let me know when loading, and my cluster changes from whatever I want it to display to 39°F for almost a full 10 seconds. And to top it off, it'll go to full brightness for that time frame, despite me having the dash dimmed. I understand that it can be a good idea to know when ice is possible, but I'm in a place where sometimes it doesn't get over 39°F for a month. I don't need a warning that there could be ice when I just had to scrape ice off my windshield. My Volkswagen does this as well. You can change it somewhere in the settings, I think in the newer ones. You can select the specific temperature it warns you at least I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I've messed with the settings. Otherwise I like most of the features it has. But I drive manual and I find it a bit more annoying that it tries to tell me what gear I need to be in and when to shift. I can see the usefulness for newer drivers, but for me I find it a little irritating. At least it's not accompanied by any noise, just a display. Anyone who drives a newer VW can agree. The passenger side seat sensor. That shit just goes off for no reason. I have to keep the seat belt buckled at all times. And Mazda. Legit the only thing I hate about my car. I can put a straw on the seat and it starts beeping. I've never used the self-parking thing other than for fun. It's okay, he's got Mat Pack. Not my vehicle, but my ex-neighbor had a safety feature that caused the car to honk every time a car drove past it. The vehicle was parked along the street. My house didn't have AC, so I had to have my window open at night. Every night, I was repeatedly woken to an unnecessary honk. Whoever designed that feature, I hope you step on a Lego. That is the dumbest feature I've read so far in this post. I would scream. Doors that automatically unlock when I shift to park. Hell no, sometimes I need a second to grab my things. I don't need some rando browsing the parking lot to jump in the car with me. Turn that off real fast. My dad lectured me for turning that off in my mom's car when she first got it. The car she drives around in alone 90% of the time. The other 10% is him driving. Like, no sir, I'm making sure it's safe for this woman. We have our problems, but she did ensure I made it to adulthood. Screen not allowing me to change the settings and stuff because I'm going over 2 miles an hour or whatever. You know, passengers do exist. This drives me crazy that my wife can't enter a new or change destination in the navigation system unless we stop or use voice commands. The voice recognition. If you've never used one from a 2010 Zero of car, you don't understand how good this tech has gotten in recent years. I've tried using it probably 50 times. Not once has it even gotten close to what I said. Set destination to 85th PL. Do you want to call Taylor Hawking? Turn volume down, changing radio to 102.7 FM. I don't understand how this was green lighted. And I've tried using the voice trainer that the German engineers provided. It didn't help at all. Hilarious indeed. I am on my 5th car from 5 different manufacturers that allegedly have voice recognition. None of them worked. Touch screens. They're just unsafe. Physical buttons and knobs will always be superior in a vehicle. Using your phone while driving is very unsafe and forces you to take your eyes off the road. Here. Use this touch screen for everything as basic as adjusting the temperature, to changing the radio volume, to changing your navigation settings. Lane assist. Especially the ones that jerk you back. Jerks you back right into the pothole you were trying to avoid. When I have the radio music on, then put the car in reverse, I can't adjust or even turn off the radio. I was told it is a feature to make sure you can't be distracted by the stereo buttons. That's so annoying. Mine would lower the volume in reverse, but I found a setting to turn it off. Auto start stop engine idle. Fucking hate that. Seems to work pretty well for me, so not sure why the hate. With my car it seems to rarely kick in unless fully stopped with brake pressed down. Then when I see lights about to change and I release brake, it auto starts so quickly. Doesn't seem to make any difference other than but quieter sitting at lights. The car has automatic handbrake so doesn't seem to roll back or anything. Is a Mercedes if that makes any difference. Fog warning. Yes, thank you, car. I too have eyes. My 5V ports in my car are always on, so I can't leave things like a dashcam plugged in cause it will drain my battery over about a week without use, and I work from home so I don't drive super often. My car's ports are always on too. People don't believe me when I say they do not shut off and has drained the battery in a long weekend just leaving the phone charger in, not connected to anything, just plugged in. Deleted. My car lets you toggle the auto function with a separate switch. If you move the actual stalk up into the intermittent setting, it's just like regular old intermittent wipers. There's also a rotating dial that either adjusts the sensitivity or the intermittent speed. It's a Polestar, but I'm fairly sure most recent Volvos use the exact same part. Works so much better than my old car where the only way to switch between auto and old school intermittent was to go through the infotainment system. I've got an EV, so. Silly fake engine noises. Can you imagine if back in 1908 you'd go in and buy a car, and it had some mechanism that made fake horse noises all the time? I understand the need for a noise while going through parking lots or whatever, but piping any audio into the passenger compartment is just pointless. I quite like the idea of being able to download sound effects like ringtones. Nice if you could warn pedestrians in slow traffic areas by playing TIE Fighter sound effects, Or sounds of horses. Headrests that push your head forward if you try to sit without slouching. I hate this with a passion. I do not work a desk job and therefore do not have that dreaded neck posture where your head is constantly leaning forward, but it seems that enough people have this problem and are getting into accidents that car manufacturers have moved the headrest forward over the years to accommodate them. Ding, 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 check backseat for children. Whose children? What are they doing in my truck? My no 1 but 04 Miata has a feature where if you unlock with the key fob and don't actually open a door within 30 seconds it automatically relocks. Tried to disable but no luck. My Toyota does that. It's so annoying when you're carrying something and locks back before you can get the door open. I have a CRV that has one of their built-in picnic tables. I could do without it, but I love telling people I have a built-in picnic table. Yeah, the problem with that is if you have anything in your cargo area, you need to take it all out. Otherwise things will just fall into the spare wheel well. The low tire pressure sensor that doesn't specify which tire. 2009 Toyota Corolla, other models probably also have it. I've been eyeballing tire pressure since 1970 something. I can do just fine without a finicky piece of tech that isn't really helpful. You might know enough to keep an eye on tire pressure, but that doesn't mean all the other idiots out there do. TPMS and backup cameras are probably the two best things to come out of government mandates in the last 15-20 years.